Okay, well, in this discussion here, we will quickly talk about the doubly linked list from a theoretical standpoint. I like to go over that. As you could remember from our earlier discussion, we said a doubly linked list is simply a list of nodes. As you could see right here, these nodes are connected in a two-way direction, right? So you can see the next node in the sequence right here is again pointing to right here, and then you could see that the link is pointing right here, and so on and so forth. So if I simply create one more node, you could see there is a two-way directional link, right? So the first one is pointing to null, and the last one is pointing to null, and then there is a head pointer which is pointing to the first node, and there is a tail pointer that's pointing to the last node, right? So now the question is, how would we perform a delete, right? So if we are performing a delete, as you would have seen in the other video discussion there, in our programmatic discussion, we have a case here. What we call as case one is simply if there is only one node, right, that we want to delete. So at that point, what do? We have this one connected to null, this one connected to null. So, and then you have the head pointing here and tail is also pointing here, right? So which means then there is only one node that need to be deleted, right? And once you delete that, the list got to get empty. So here you simply set head as null and tail as null, right? So that's the starting point, right? So if you remember, the constructor did that for us in the very beginning, right? Before we added any node. And then you do the same thing, when you have the linked list to be totally empty, then you set head as null and tail as null. Okay, so that's the first case. What if we want to develop a second case here where we say if the node to be deleted is the head node, right? So which is this particular node. If I want this to be deleted, so simply I set the head to be this next node in the sequence, right? So that's the first thing I do. Head will be equal to head dot get next, right? So meaning you set the head pointer as the next node in that sequence, and then keep in mind now we need to go back head dot previous. So head dot previous is this chain right here. I go there and then I set the next link. Instead of pointing it right here, I set that to null, right? I set that to null, which means I break the chain, right? And then I do the same thing here. The new head, which is pointing to this node right here, the second node, I set the previous of that node to be null, right? When I set that null, then I simply remove that chain and then I set that to be null, right? So really what we do then is we simply get all these out of the way, right? So all these would go away if we clean up a little bit. So we have the head pointing right here, right? And then this guy pointing to null. So we simply got rid of that other guy, right? So by setting that guy to null right here, and then this was originally null, we simply take that out of the picture, right? And then this will be destroyed by the so-called garbage collector in Java, right? So that will take care of that automatically, the garbage collector, which we had not discussed much. And it's also kind of out of the scope of this course to talk about garbage collection. But really, garbage collector is going to take care of all the loose nodes, right? So if a node is null, then it will simply get rid of that from the memory. Okay, so that's the case two, is where we take care of the head, we update the head, and then we take care of the previous node, the previous head, we disconnect that, right? We disconnect that, and we create a new head, right? New head. The third case is for the tail. What if I want to delete the tail node, which is right here, right? So again, you do the same thing. You set the new tail as the node that is previous to the current tail. So really, you create a new tail by setting the previous node of that particular tail, and then you're going to do the tail dot get next, which is this guy right here, right? And then the set previous, which is right here. You're going to take care of that, right? So you need to disconnect this, make this a null, right? And then you need to disconnect this, make this a null as well, right? So really, we are taking care of the previous tail, right? Right. So we simply disconnect the chain from here, and then the chain that's connected right here, right? In this way, if we can clear up this guy here. So really, if we can clean up this diagram a little bit, this is going to point to null, and this is my tail, and then the loose node, which was the old tail, now has been disconnected, right, from the linked list. And then the garbage collector, as I said earlier, will simply take care of that destruction of that node, right? Okay, well, what if we have a requirement where the node to be deleted is somewhere in between, right? In between the head and tail. So in order to do that, I like to draw up a new linked list. So let us, matter of fact, draw a new linked list right here. So I like to create a new page. So let's draw up one quick linked list right here, doubly linked list. So again, we will consider 4 node, right? So we'll pick a 4 node doubly linked list. This guy is null. This is null as well. Head is pointing right here. Tail is pointing right here. And let us assume that for this discussion, I want to get rid of this guy, the third guy in that sequence, right? So we simply set a current pointer, right? So the current pointer is pointing to head. We iterate, as we often do. So which means current would travel like this all the way to the end. And we are checking if the current pointer's data node, if current data is double equal to the value, right? If it matches, let us say it matches right here, right? I'm going to box this thick line. So it matches right here. So we simply take this chain, we connect this chain to this guy right here. And then we break this chain also, right? We break this chain right here. We break this chain right here. We are going to create a new chain. Let me thicken this a little bit, right? So you can see the new chain is created right here, and then a new chain is created right here, right? So 2 new chains are connected, and then thereby we can clean up this little bit. So all this will go away, right? All these will go away, and then really what you got is this chain right here, right? This chain right here. So you simply isolated that node like this by setting this guy to null, this guy to null, and then the destructor would take care of that, right? So that's the case 4. So case 4 here is we need to set the previous node of the current node to current node dot next, right? So the next node. And the same thing, we need to create a 2 chain right here, right? So the previous and next. Okay, so that is how one would typically implement a delete operation. A search operation should be pretty straightforward, right? So I'm not going to repeat that. So a search operation would be kind of similar to what we did with the singly linked list, so we should all be familiar how to perform a search, right, at this point. So, okay, well, thanks again, for watching this video clip, and I will end the session. So if you have not done that so already, please go ahead and look at the programmatic demonstration, which is the session 1 of this video. Okay, all right, thank you.